want to show you what creates this land. This is the Treaty of 1817. This is when the newcomers first came to this territory, led by Lord Selkirk on the bottom right, and then the Anishinaabe Cree in the area along the Red River. And we're standing right here. So right over here. At the corner of the Red and the Pembina, Assiniboine now, rivers. And because of this treaty, it enables the newcomers to come to this territory, and they are recognized. And that when they are recognized, I know how they are to be recognized, because you only have to look at, of course, you can see the English writing, but I want you to look at how Peguis and his allies signed. And they signed using dodems, which means this. Who accepted animals into territories when, let's say, imagine DJ Manado had this great meeting at the beginning of creation, creates each part. So it says, okay, stars, this new being called the sun is going to come. Can you accept the sun? Stars are fine. And so on and so on. The sun accepts the moon accepts the sky accepts the directions, the wind accepts the, what am I doing here? Earth accepts the water, and so on and so on and so on. Until finally, who accepts the animals? The earth and the water. The water had to agree to accept the fish. So what is that? That's a treaty. They had to accept to work together and to live together peacefully. And that when they accepted to live together peacefully, that when Anishinaabe, when human beings were created, they made that treaty with those animals. And if you look right here, the Anishinaabe and Cree signed using those animals, not because they were giving them the land. That's the way in which it was interpreted. But they were giving it to say, you have responsibilities. And you have responsibilities to these animals. And not only do you have responsibilities to these animals, but where do the animals live? In the water, in the land, in the sky, in the directions, in the sun, in the moon, in a long chain of network of relationships. And that this treaty was nothing new, it was very old. For thousands of years, this treaty went all the way back to creation. And as much as those newcomers imposed ideas of land ownership on us, which is what this treaty is about, we had to renegotiate it, by the way, because Lord Selkirk ends up taking all of the land. He has no interest in sharing it. But Chief Peguis renegotiates it years later, and that when they signed using that, they were given incredible gifts. They were giving them law. And that as much as we are told to respect ownership of those Europeans, because they say we signed beside them, they have to respect the law that they signed with too. And the respect of the law in which they signed up alongside is to take care of that water, is to take care of those animals. And this treaty is only partly about taking care and respecting and acknowledging and working with Anishinaabe. Much like the two-row wampum. This image, which is what treaties are based on, the idea of two boats traveling in a water together, and never the two shall meet, but the both shall share the water equally and reciprocally and mutually beneficial. So if a wave comes across, both boats will be affected, and they'll be affected equally. It's much that idea, but for Anishinaabe signing the Treaty of 1817, they were saying that you have to respect the law of this territory. And this is binding. This is binding to the newcomers. A gift. Because it's a gift of possibility and of beauty. The gift of possibility and beauty is built on a relationship of community building that's mutually beneficial, and it's based on this idea of Bagjigan, or Bagajigan, depending on where you stand in Anishinaabe country. It's the idea of a gift. And the gift that I give to you is that you can hold this gift too. Because you can have a relationship with the animals too. You gotta find your own path. We have our own plan system. You gotta find your own path. But that own path that you're gonna find is gotta be responsible. It's gotta be mutually beneficial. Not just to Anishinaabe, not just to Cree, but to those birds, to those trees, to those earth. And the real question is, how are we gonna share the land? Because we've got two opportunities here. And the two opportunities are situations like Elsipogtog, or situations like creation of something else. And I think that as Idle No More, we are giving this country a real opportunity to see something more than the violence and abuse that has been perpetrated for now 150 years and continues in 2014 with the FNEA, with the Bill C-45. How many do I need to list over and over and over again? The Lake Winnipeg situation, the oil sands, the bursting of a pipeline right in our backyard. That is the situation that we're dealing with, and when do we get to say no? Because the situation right now is that we are saying no, and we are saying no through two different ways. Which is the way of possibility, and which is the way of song, which is the way of violence. And with that, I think about the gift of treaties, and I say miigwech to all of you. We're available for questions if you have any questions at the end. I think we can be a beautiful, incredible community in so many different ways. And I say miigwech to all of you for listening. So I wanted to ask a question. I just wanted to get finished, so I don't want everyone to stick around. So go ahead, my brother. With the Dutch, yeah. Yeah, this is
They're in violation. We take back our sovereignty. We put our women in their rightful seat as the territorial keepers of this land. Forget the father and all that crap. We put our mothers back. We can have it back. Can you stop?
Did everybody hear that?
Stop the homelessness and everything that's going on.
I just want to make sure everybody could hear what you're saying. So if I just paraphrase, you were saying that that the intentions were there, but they were never delivered, and so none of those treaties are valid. Is that never be delivered because we're dealing with a criminal? That's. I just want to make sure I'm paraphrasing what you're saying. So there's also a statement about there continues to be police in the streets that are creating a violent situation. Okay. We're going to get to another question right after this, but go ahead. Yeah.
You read out this to the people? This is what we used to stop federal judges, provincial judges, all that stuff.
Which part? I can't read the whole thing, but which part?
You can read the statement of improper defense.
Okay, so I'll just, the allegiance of attorneys, judges, and all other officers of this court is given to uphold the laws of the province and the federal government of Canada, and are therefore disqualified from representing, judging fairly, or trying by crown law Indians or treaty rights to their properties or territories. So if I could paraphrase that, I just want to make sure that I'm paraphrasing you, so then we can move on to another question. So what you're saying is that due to the unjust actions, the continual unjust actions, the courts, attorneys, judges, and other officers of the court are invalid.
No, you know what? It's a statement of improper defense. The allegiance of attorneys, judges, and all other officers of this court is given to uphold the laws of the province and the federal government of Canada, and therefore are disqualified from representing, judging fairly, or trying by crown law Indians on treaty rights to their property or territories. It's straightforward.
Jurisdiction.
So, be much for that. We're going to really appreciate your point of view. What was your name, brother? Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't do that. But be much for that. Be much for that contribution. So, okay, is there any other questions in relation to treaties?